Okay, next module we are of the signals. Okay, in this we will be learning of different properties about our Fourier transform. Okay, how it is going to be taken, how to solve those problems. Okay, before we go with the what are the properties, just we go with what do you mean by Fourier representation. Okay, if we go for introduction part, the convolution sum. The convolution sum and integral are convenient way to find the response of an LTI system. If its impulse response is known LTI system, it is indicating that whatever the methods we used in the previous way, that is our convolution sum and integral form for continuous and discrete signals, what we are going for, the condition there we taken is of the system what we are going to refer, it is of a linear, that is linear time invariant system, that is we call abbreviated as LTI system only. Okay, for we can find from that, but can be completely characterized by the impulse response. It means only for h of n we can find out. When what is the condition? It is in terms of LTI system. But a signal is represented as weighted superposition. Yes, we come across this of complex sinusoidal. Right? The sine, if I am going to take the sine or cos function, it is nothing but what I am writing, omega naught plus pi, right? Yes, we will be representing this is in terms of frequency and it is in terms of your phase angle. Complex sinusoidal signal, if such a signal is applied to the LTI system, then the system output is weighted superposition of the outputs on each complex sinusoidal. That's what the meaning of our LTI system, right? Then the representation of the signals and systems using complex sinusoidal. If I'm going to apply my signal for the complex signals, sine wave, cos wave, like that signals, if I'm going to represent, then it is going to be called as a Fourier representation. This gave the information by the person, that is Joseph Fourier. For that reason, his name only given for here. For the contribution for the theory. Then next we will go with what are the classes are there. Fourier representation for signal classes. Depending on the periodic nature. Depending on the periodic nature of a signal, there are 4 distinct Fourier representation are there. Okay, based on the periodicity, period or non-period, based on that. Periodic signals have Fourier series representation, whereas non-periodic signals have Fourier transform representation. Observe here, periodic signals are Fourier series, we tell as FS also, or else Fourier series, and non-periodic signals are Fourier transform, that is FT representation. Then the Fourier series Fs corresponds to the continuous time signal, periodic signal, whereas our discrete time Fourier series, that is DT Fs for discrete, for continuous time Fourier series, for discrete time DT Fs corresponds to the discrete time periodic signals. In the same way, non-periodic continuous time signal representation is termed as Fourier transform, whereas for non-periodic discrete time signal, the representation is termed as discrete time Fourier transform, that is DT-FT. Here a table is given for us. It is giving the information about how you have to remember, right? The time property is in terms of continuous, means if it is of periodic, then we call that as a Fourier series. Then continuous and non-periodic means Fourier transform. then the signal it is in terms of discrete and it is periodic, then it is of discrete time Fourier series DTFS, and the signal it is in terms of discrete and non-periodic, then discrete time Fourier transform DTFT. This table is giving the information about how you have to take. When a system is continuous and periodic, we will prefer for the Fourier series, and a signal is of discrete and non-periodic means then we prefer for the discrete time Fourier transform DTFT. Like this information is given by this table. Okay, for our syllabus we will be learning about for the discrete time only. Transform, I mean continuous, non-periodic, that is DFT and DTFT. Okay, only for the non-periodic signals we are preferring. First we will go with the Fourier transform, that is the continuous time Fourier transform FT. The non-periodic continuous time signal x of t can be represented by the equation. Here the equation you have to take as x of t is equal to 1 by 2 integration minus plus infinity. Here capital X of j omega e raised to j omega t d omega. That is take as equation 1, where x of j omega is nothing but integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. Okay, x of j omega is known as Fourier transform. X of j omega is known as ft, Fourier transform of x of t, right? Then x of j omega and x of t, combining of these two, x of j omega and x of t forms a ft pair, Fourier transform pair, which can be represented as x of t is in the vice versa. If I calculate Fourier transform, I will be getting as x of j omega. If I go in a reverse case, from x of j omega, I can find out of x of t also. For that reason, the arrow is both the side. Okay, this is a representation for ft pair. You have to remember these two equations. While going for the problems, we will be using of these equations. Okay, then here x of j omega is frequency domain representation. Observe here, frequency domain representation of the time domain signal x of t. X of j omega is of frequency domain representation and x of t is the time domain signal. Means from the Fourier transform, it is possible to find out the frequency domain in terms of the time domain signal. Understand here what I am stressing here? By using of the Fourier representation, the whole function what we are going for, it is giving the information about we can the frequency domain signal to the time domain, or else time domain signals to the frequency domain. The vice versa I can go for whether our signal is in or in terms of it is of a non-periodic. We can go any of the method. This is what the main focus we will be going for the Fourier transform, Fourier series methods. Okay, because why it is needed? If you ask in a general way, when you are going to do any of the experimental way, some are frequency dependent, right? The frequency sometimes we can't measure of those. What will be going for? We will convert the frequency into the time. Frequency and time are interdependent, right? We can already come across this from the basic level also. For that reason, when we require the conversion from frequency to time, we can do frequency with that. For that reason, it is in signals, if I am preferring, it is main importance, it will be given for the Fourier series. Then x of j omega is also known as a spectrum of x of t. X of j omega is nothing but the spectrum of x of t. Different bands, if I am going for, there will come across. Then x of j omega is of a non-periodic. Then equation is known as a synthesis equation. What we taken, it is of a synthesis equation, it is also called. Then the Fourier transform x of j omega for a continuous time signal x of t exists if the following conditions are satisfied. This conditions is called as Dirichlet conditions. Okay. First condition is of x of t is absolutely integrable, because continuous time, if I am going to prefer, it should be integrable, right? For that reason, here the condition, it is of integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t with the only for the positive values of dt is less than infinity. That is one condition. Next in condition is of what is it is needed less than infinity only. We are, when we are gone with the properties, the main properties of stability, right? Whatever the system you are going to design, it should be a stable one. For that reason, it is very important. Then the second one is x of t have finite number of maxima and minima within any finite interval. Finite number of maxima and minima, the samples representation, what you are going for, it should be within a limit, means within the infinite range only. That's what the meaning. Then third one is of x of t have a finite number of discontinuities within the any finite interval. If the signal is some for certain interval, there may be a chances of missing of that sample. If it is continuously, if it is missing of those samples, means it's not going to preferring. It should be there, but it should in a limited fashion, it should be there. That's what the third condition. This is about the introduction part, and you have to remember about the equations. Okay. What is the equation? X of t is equals to 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega e raised to j omega t into d omega. Then in terms of, it is in terms of time domain, right? In terms of frequency domain, what it is the equation? X of j omega is equals to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. This is in terms of frequency domain. Okay. Or else this equation is called as Fourier transform. This is called as inverse Fourier transform also. Okay, x of t signal. Then we will go with the properties. All the properties are very important. In the exam, you will be getting definitely 8 marks or else 6 marks in the question paper. If you are perfect with all the 11 properties, you may get this number. Okay, you have to practice for all the properties, for all the, almost from module 1 to all the modules, you will be having the properties. Okay, what all the properties are there in the continuous time Fourier transform? The first one is of linearity, time shift, frequency shift, scaling, time differentiation, frequency differentiation, integration, convolution, modulation, Pascal's theorem. Then the last one is of a symmetry. These are all the 11 properties. Then we will the one by one properties, how we can getting of those. The first property is of linearity. If x of t, the Fourier transform, observe here, Fourier transform x of j omega and y of t with the Fourier transform, what I will be getting? In here it is of small y, means after Fourier transform you will be getting as capital Y. It may be any variable. It's not that you have to take x and y. The alphabets, which one you prefer. Okay, y of j omega. Then what is the linearity property? Z of t is equal to a x of t plus b y of t. Transform, if I apply, would get as z j omega is equal to a into x of j omega plus b into j omega. This is what the linearity property. Now we'll derive for this, the proof we can go. From the basic equation, right? X of j omega, what I can write? X of j omega is equals to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then y of j omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then what I can write? Z of j omega is equal to, I am taking off this, z of j omega is equal to, what I can write based on comparing here? I can write as integration minus infinity to plus infinity. Instead of here y x is there, I can write as z of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. What is our z of t? We are telling that it is of a of x of t plus b y of t, that you have to substitute here. Ax of t plus by of t into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. Then integrate linear one, so that refer for the first term and also for the second term, and then we have to multiply e raised to minus j omega to the a into x of t and also to the b into y of t. Therefore what I can write here, that is equal to a into integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt plus b into, after multiplication I am writing this equation, plus b integration minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then what is this equation? Is nothing but our x of j omega, and this is nothing but our y of j omega. Therefore what I can write? A is a constant, keep as it is, a x of j omega plus b y of j omega I will be getting. Hence the proof, it is proved for the linearity property. Then the next property is of time shift. If x of t Fourier transform is of x of j omega, then y of t is equal to x of t minus t naught if it is of time shift. The property is what we learned. I hope you remembered. The same thing we are going to use here. Then the Fourier transform is going to be y of j omega is equal to e raised to minus j omega t naught into x of j omega. What is the shift is going for? How much the shift it is going to be? T naught value, it's going to be taken in terms of a complex value. The shift is going to be occurring. For that reason, e raised to minus j omega into t naught, that much shift omega t it's going for, but here t naught. Next we'll go with the proof. First we'll write what is the x of j omega equation, the basic equation, that is integration minus infinity plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. Then y of j omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then what is our y of t? It is taken, it is shifted by some time period, that is t naught, minus infinity to plus infinity x of t minus t naught into e raised to minus j omega t into dt. What you have to do? Put t minus t naught is equals to a. Here it is preferred at a, you can take any other variable. Then differentiating with respect to the dt, then if I differentiate, I will be getting as dt is equal to dA. Then because a limit is in terms of infinity range, it will not going to change here. It is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. What we substituted? T minus t naught as a. So x of a e raised to minus j omega. Instead of writing t, keep t here and shift t naught this side, means a plus t naught dt. Instead of dt, it is going to be dA. dA. Then that is equal to What is the constant value here? Here the differentiation with respect to a, it is done, right? Therefore, x of a e raised to minus j omega a, then what I can write? E raised to minus j omega t naught, right? I can write. For that reason, this t naught is a constant value, the time shift, right? For that reason, e raised to minus j omega t naught, it's taken outside. And remaining part is of e raised to minus j omega a into ta. What is this equation? If I just compare here instead of t, here it is of a. Here is also a is there. Here t is there. Instead of t, here is a. Instead of t, here it is dA. Means I can write as e raised to minus j omega t naught, that is as it is. Then the equation I can write as x of j omega. Therefore, this is the proof of the time shift property. Y of j omega is equal to e raised to minus j omega t naught x of j omega. You have to remember these properties. This is about the time shift. Next, about the frequency shift. If x of t, the Fourier transform is of x of j omega, then y of t is equal to e raised to j t x of t, the Fourier transform is going to be y of j omega is equal to x of j omega minus beta, omega minus beta. Then the proof is going to be x of j omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. Then y of j omega is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e raised to minus j omega t into dt. Then what is our omega y of t? E raised to j omega t dt, substituting this. Then e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then that is equal to integration minus into plus infinity x of t, combining of these two. What I will be getting? E raised to minus j, j is taken as outside, omega minus j is taken for a reason, omega minus beta into t, that is dt. This is what is nothing but our omega, right? Instead of omega, it is of omega minus beta. The same thing we are writing here. Therefore, y of j omega is equal to x of j omega minus beta. You will be getting out. Then the fourth one is of scaling. If x of t, Fourier transform x of j omega, then y of t is equal to x of at, the Fourier transform y of j omega is equal to 1 divided by mod of a x of j omega divided by a. This is a scaling property. How it is going to be getting? We will go with the proof. X of j omega is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then y of j omega is equal to integration minus infinity to plus infinity y of t e raised to minus j omega t dt. Then y of j omega t, what is our y of t is of? Just replace that, x of at e raised to minus j omega t dt. Here two conditions are going for. If a is positive, that is a is greater than 0, put at is equals to tau. Then differentiate, then I will be getting as dt is equals to a is taken this side, 1 by a d tau. Then y of j omega is equals to integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of, instead of at I am substituting as tau e raised to minus j omega tau divided by a. Instead of t, tau by a I am writing here. Okay. Therefore, I will be writing as instead of dt, what I can write? d tau by a. Right? What is there? I am just substituting here. Next, a is a 1 by a is a constant value, so I wrote here 1 by a integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau e raised to minus j omega by a into tau d tau. Remaining as it is I wrote. Then what I can write? The omega, it is changed as omega by a, right? For that is going, I can write as y of j omega is equals to 1 by a x of j omega divided by a. Instead of omega, here is of omega by a, that you have to write omega by a. I hope you are getting of this. Take this as equation 1. Then we are checking for if a is of a negative, means a less than 0, put minus at is equals to tau because negative values. Then dt is going to be minus 1 by a into d tau. Y of j omega is equal to minus 1 by integration, limit will change, okay, plus infinity to minus infinity x of minus tau e raised to minus j omega by a minus tau will get. Then d tau, if I solve for this 1 by a, if I change this minus, if you want to change, then the limit is going to be changed here, minus infinity to plus infinity. Observe here, this minus sign is going for, it's going for, then the limit is going to be changing. X of minus tau e raised to minus j omega by a minus tau d tau. This I can write as y of j omega is equals to 1 divided by a x of j omega divided by a. Whatever may be the positive or negative values, equation 1 and 2, what I can write, y of j omega is equals to 1 by a x of j omega divided by a. Either I can go with the positive value of a or negative value of the way, I will be getting as positive a only. That's what the meaning here. This is about the scaling property. Next, the fifth one is a time differentiation. If x of t, the Fourier transform is of x of j omega, then dx of t divided by dt Fourier transform is going to be j omega x of j omega. Then the proof is going to be x of t is equals to what? 1 by 2 pi minus integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega e raised to j omega t d omega. What do you have to do? Differentiating with respect to time on both the side. If I do that, is equals to d by dt of the whole function. Same thing here it is written. If I differentiate here and changing the order of the differentiation, dx of t divided by dt, it is equal to 1 by 2 pi. I am writing the constant here. Then integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of j omega. Here it's going to the within the integration. For that reason it will be changing. That is taken as dou divided by dou t e raised to j omega t into d omega. Then if I differentiate here, I hope you will be knowing the differentiation. If I do that, I will be adding as everything will remain same. E raised to j theta into e raised to theta t or theta anything, differentiation is going to be theta into e raised to theta, right? Same thing. J omega x of j omega into j omega e raised to j omega t into d omega. Then here I wrote as just interchanged. First I wrote j omega, then x of j omega, that I wrote in a bracket, then e raised to j omega t d omega. Comparing equation 1, this is the equation 1, sorry, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. If I compare there, what I can write, extra thing is of what? J omega is the extra one. So dx of t divided by dt, the Fourier transform is going to be j omega x of j omega. You will be getting off. This is what the differentiation. Differentiation means you in your mind you should come as j omega x of j omega only. Okay, we will stop here. We will continue in the next class.